And that's okay. This is one of the first times we've ever done anything like this, and it's quite possible we might not have anybody join in on the online option too. So
The first time
yeah, and
they've been here for these things and.
it happens, you know.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was a really good idea to do it.
Yeah.
Just to have the option, you know.
I guess like we don't do it often too, and I guess like unless we're doing it regularly, people don't know to keep an eye out for it. So we're entering a brave new era there.
Been doing sometimes we've been doing in-person on stage conversations. We've been streaming them to different parts of the state, and they're like watch parties where groups will get together to watch the online thing.
That's cool.
So like LeGrand has a dedicated group when we run things in Portland,
Oh,
That's really cool. Yeah.
and Salem has a group. Yeah, so it's great to be able to see that start. It took time.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. You like build up. People can't tap into it if they don't know about it. So
I drove down here from Gold Beach, so I don't think there's gonna be much of a group there. There's just nobody there.
How was the drive?
Beautiful as always.
Yeah, guess I drove through Gold Beach this afternoon too. Yeah, I almost pulled off at the library there. You go to the library there much?
To Port Orford.
Is there a library in Gold Beach?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you
There's a
go to?
library in Gold Beach, there's one in Port Orford, there's one in Langlos.
Yeah.
Just keep driving, you'll run into libraries.
we got that.
From Portland.
I was in Eugene last night.
Oh, cool.
I have one of these weeks where tomorrow I gotta be in Salem for a day-long meeting, and then I gotta be in Eugene Thursday for a conversation at a sort of houseless village.
Oh,
People are coming back into housing.
cool.
Yeah, so putting the miles on this
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta be back in Salem tomorrow.
tomorrow morning
Oh.
for a 10 to 5 meeting, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm
You
gonna
didn't
try.
get to stay here very long.
No, I got down here a few hours ago and walked around some, walked out to the point.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it'd be better to have more time. I just didn't pay enough attention to that,
The logistics, yeah.
which I should.
Next time, give yourself some extra time.
Yeah, it's good advice.
I think I might have been kinder to Julia when she came down. I made sure to do it on a weekend so she could have a long weekend
That's right.
here to
Julia
hang
this
out.
week, I forgot Julia.
Yeah.
Julia is someone that I work with, and she's in Ashland
Is she?
for the nonprofit leadership conference, right?
Oh, good for her.
That's good to know, all these programs and.
Yeah, and another colleague is in Bend this week for a rural organizing conference. And we have a staff member in LeGrand, so it is
Really
really,
see that.
yeah, it's real statewide.
You wanna get started?
Sure.
I'm gonna say,
Start, it can be a nice mellow conversation.
Yeah, I was gonna say, sometimes a small group can be nice, so. Well, thank you both for being here today. So we're hosting Adam Davis with Oregon Humanities for our We Created Equal, part of the conversation project. And part of the reason that we invited him down for this topic in particular, of course, we've got a big anniversary, the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Just doing a lot of programs that are focusing on that this year. But also too, it's been an interesting time in our country and in our community as people are grappling with like a lot of big feelings around civil liberties. Gonna go shut that
Sorry,
door.
I'm hard of hearing.
I understand that. Yep.
They waited till we were gonna start really making noise. So,
That's how it usually works, isn't it?
It's nice to see lots of kids in the library.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
great.
I was gonna say. But we've been dealing with a lot of big feelings around current events as people have been kind of having more and more discussions about their civil liberties, what freedom and equality mean to them in this day and age. So it seemed like a good time to have a conversation about it. So with that, I'll turn it over to Adam.
All right, I'll just say thanks for being here. And you said Janet, Robin, I'm still Adam,
And Kat.
Kat. And we met, it's worth saying, we met in Portland
Mhm.
at a facilitation 2-day facilitation training. So it's
Congratulations.
great to come back down here and see you in your space.
Yeah.
And this library is really something. So it's great to see it. Kat mentioned that this conversation is, it's sort of building off the fact that this is the 250th anniversary of the Declaration. And we have 16 different programs that are, here we go. See. You're good.
Join us.
It's pretty mellow over here.
Yeah.
I see that.
Yeah. We're in introduction space here.
Everyone knows me.
Okay, well, I'm Adam.
Except you. I'm Kathleen Dixon.
Kathleen,
Nice to meet you.
great to meet you. We were just both saying that this is the 250th anniversary year of the Declaration. And for Oregon Humanities, it's been an opportunity, not so much to study the document as to get people together to think about some of the ideas that the country seems to be committed to, sometimes falling short of, sometimes rising to, but aspiring to put into practice. So this one this evening really is around ideas about equality. And so this is part of a program of ours called the Conversation Project. It's not a talk at, it's a talk with kind of program. And so even if you all know each other a little bit, I wonder if we could start just to get us thinking about equality. And I'm going to ask us to do different kinds of talking sometimes. Well, I would have said small groups. We're a small enough group that we might just stay in our group of 5. But for starters, I guess I wonder if each of us could say a word that comes to our head when we hear equality. Don't explain your word. Just maybe say your name and that word that comes to mind. It doesn't have to make sense, and I don't want you to explain it yet. So if anybody has one, they could just, yeah, great.
Robin, kindness.
Kindness.
At opportunity.
Kathleen, fair.
Janet, difficult.
Difficult. And I'm Adam, and I think hierarchy. That's the word that came from me.
What was your word?
Hierarchy?
I was gonna say cast.
Yeah, okay. Which maybe is why you said difficult. So we had, just from the 5 of us, kindness, opportunity, fair, difficult, and hierarchy. I guess I wonder if you feel like were you expecting to hear other things or anything surprising in there?
Definitely seems like two sides of the same, two sides of the same coin. Like there are good things to be thought of when we think of equality, but then there's also struggles around it.
I happen to be reading Isabel Wilkerson's book, Cast.
Oh, okay, so it's making you think about it.
Well, so I think my response comes from a place of having felt like most things have been equal for me. I'm not a person of color. I'm not someone who's been regularly oppressed. I mean, I am a woman, so there's that, but that never seemed to stop me. So I think my sense of my positive reaction comes from that place. If I'd had different experiences, I imagine my word might have been different.
Yeah. So how about this? Let me follow that by asking us to think of an experience. Ideally, an experience that you've had over the last weeks or months in your life where you felt like, okay, I can see our country's commitment to equality showing up. It could be a very mundane, everyday experience. It could be a bigger experience. But what's one moment, now that you're being asked to think about it, when you can see our country's commitment to equality showing up? I'm going to ask the opposite after this, but let's start with where we are seeing it. So like I could say, look at us, we're all sitting in chairs. We're all using first names. That would be, to me, two examples. But I guess I wonder if you could name the thing you're thinking of and how equality is showing up in that experience. And we'll just.
You just took mine.
I
That's
took
the
yours?
problem.
Which one were you gonna say? What were you gonna say?
Same
Are we
thing.
just on the same page here? Well, will you say it in your words, whatever you were thinking?
I'm sorry, what?
Would you say what you would, in your own words, what are you thinking about?
I'm thinking about this meeting.
Hmm.
There's obviously in Oregon, the Humanities Council, which is kind of, to me, the heartbeat of Oregon. As far as its dedication to humanity. And here we are.
That's nice to hear.
Well, I'm thinking about the library right now. Those kids I just had to shush is sharing a space with us, with unhoused people, with students and tutors and people from all socioeconomic walks of life right now at this very moment. So may I see it?
The space is characterized by some commitment to equality, equal access.
I'd say so, yeah.
No.
I don't have anyone.
Hey, you looking for this conversation about equality and stuff?
I am, yeah.
Well,
Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I just got out of a meeting.
how's it going?
Well, how are you?
Good, I'm Adam.
Hi, good to see you.
Adam?
Adam, Jason.
Jason? All right, cool. We're talking about equality, talking about instances of where you might have seen equality show up in your sort of everyday life. And Janet pointed out that in this meeting, there's some of it, and Kat just said, well, do you want to say again briefly what you said about where you see it showing up?
Yeah, so I see it showing up like in this library as space, that we see people from all different kinds of walks of life, from the students and the tutors that are here to us having this conversation and utilizing this meeting space, to streaming it to maybe the one person that's watching it right now. And, to the unhoused folks who rely on this place, to be a place to just be.
Are we talking equality or equity?
We're talking equality, one thing, the way we introduced ourselves was to say one word that comes to your head when you hear equality, and I think you just might have said you think equity.
Yeah.
Okay. This second question was to think of a time over the last several weeks when you had an experience where our country's commitment to equality shows up. And those are the two we've heard so far, but it'd be great to get an example.
Thank you again for letting me go.
Sure, no. Kathleen, were you about to?
No, I struggle to come up with answers to these kinds of questions because they're very deep and my mind will go blank a lot. So
Yeah.
I don't have an answer right now.
Okay, good.
When you say country, you mean the whole USA or?
I mean, like there's some, like in the ether, we seem to sometimes think equality matters. And then how does it show up? That's all I'm asking. So like I could say something like, look how many of us wear jeans. Like in a weird way that feels to me like an image of equality.
Well, so then I sing in a chorale down in Crescent City, and I guess that equality shows up in that group, and that we're from all walks of life and we're all ages and we're all levels of musical talent and ability, and yet we all get to come together and make music in the way that we do. So sure.
That's a great example. That's and it's a beautiful picture too. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know if either Robin or Jason, if anything occurred that.
I don't really have anything in particular. It just seems that I'm thinking more about really, you're making me think about what to notice as opposed to what we don't have.
Well, that's where we're going next.
Well, but I mean, it's making me see what I do have.
Okay, good.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Okay, because I think there's that tendency to think of what we don't have.
yeah.
That leads to resentment or whatever.
Come on in.
You will not want for any participation.
Okay, great.
Sorry, running a little bit
Hey,
late.
I just walked in.
So I was late too.
Hi.
I told Adam when we were planning this, that the ethos here is no
Hi, Adam.
furry, so.
That's not my ethos. That was a scheduling issue.
Janet, pleasure to meet you.
Hi,
Glad you shared as part of our, just part of our culture, yeah.
So let's do this now that we're seven, because seven's like an important number in Las Vegas and the Bible. So let's just introduce ourselves again. And even though I asked this once before, and I asked you to say a word that comes to you when you think of equality, I'm gonna ask you again. And you don't have to say the same word. Any word that comes to you when you hear the word equality. Doesn't have to make sense, and I don't want you to explain it. So I'm Adam. And I'll say complexity this time. And maybe we can just go around.
Kat, and I'll repeat for the new folks in the room. I said opportunity.
I'm Jason, and my first thought was equity.
I'm Joni. I'm still thinking. I'm gonna go with authentic.
All right, thank you.
So Kathleen, and as much as I wish I could come up with another word. You the first one, so I know it fair was what I.
Oh,
what I said.
that's a good one.
What was it?
Fair. F-A-I-R.
Janet, goal.
Goal.
I'm gonna stay with mine. Kindness.
All right, so this time around, we had complexity, opportunity, equity, authentic, fair, goal, and kindness.
Hmm.
The other words that showed up earlier were difficult and hierarchy.
Mm.
But the other three
Mhm.
we had already.
Mhm.
And then we started talking about a time in your life over the past several weeks when, in a big or small way, you had an experience that somehow showed our country's commitment to equality. So like singing in a choir where people from different places with different even musical ability, or being at the library. I don't know, I guess I wonder, Jason or
Yeah, I think what I see most is an attempt at equity that turns into equality. I work at a local middle school. And so I work with special education kids who have IEPs, individual education plans, where they have certain accommodations allowed to them to help them learn better. And for the sake of all kids struggle, most kids struggle, even the kids not on IEPs. And so what starts as a targeted equity plan for students with IEPs, those types of accommodations really get scattered to everyone, which isn't a bad thing, but it's no longer equity. Now it's equality because most of them are all getting the same tools.
all right. And you seem very comfortable understanding a difference between equality and equity. And maybe as we keep talking, we'll see what other people are thinking about that. Joni, what were you thinking for an instance where equality kind of shows up?
I just got a letter,
Yeah.
a thank you letter from President Trump.
Oh.
And I wrote a book. I write written books. So I sent him the books.
Okay.
That's before he was inaugurated. I have a letter from Biden too. And I send it to all the bigwigs of the world.
Okay.
And so I just got this letter and the envelope came and it said Washington, DC. And I'm going, what the heck is this? And I open it up and dear Joni, thank you for the gift. This is a time of equality. And then he went on to do his own
Yeah.
Spin on that.
crap.
Mm.
Sorry.
But even said this is a time of
This is
equality.
a time of equality. And it's signed President Donald Trump.
Huh.
So I thought,
Yeah.
I wish Carol were here. I wish it was in his handwriting. And then somebody said, because my letter, Carol, read handwriting. She was a graphic analyst.
Oh.
And so his signature is really bizarre.
Huh.
And somebody even said to me, Joni, it'd be great to know what his signature really is. And so I'm a very prayerful, spiritual person. So I said, Carol, what do you think of this? I don't know if I should say his answer.
Say.
She's like, don't trust the guy. And so, it just, words can fake you out.
Huh.
And that's why I think I came up with the word authentic today,
Ah,
because you can put on a persona, you can put on a mask, you can put on a face. For what you believe or what you think. But, I think equality is something that you experience.
okay. So it's interesting, when you started giving that example, I thought that you were suggesting that for someone in this circle here to have received a letter from the most powerful political office in the country, that sounds like a sign of equality. But then it went further because he actually names equality. And then you said, and it didn't feel like authentic equality.
Right.
So that's interesting. There's a lot in there. So how about this? Let's try to think of a time over the past several weeks when you had an experience and you felt less of a commitment to equality or more presence of inequality than you'd like to see. Just so that we're getting both sides of this, because often we come at things by their absence. And to try to describe that example of a feeling of inequality, an experience of inequality, and ideally not just in the newspaper, but in your life.
Well, the school is my life, and so I'll come back to that. I work with two students, non-IEP, but they are English language learners.
Okay.
And so our teachers do our best to give them the tools that they need, but I can see it far lacking. Giving them assignments in their original language, and it's teachers have to figure out the best way to do it rather than there being a fully institutional protocol. Right. So I find that there is an inequality in helping teach English language learners what they need to
Okay, great.
be taught with English speaking kids.
Helpful example, yeah. Like you said, school is your life too, so you're gonna go there again, yeah.
I don't recall personally experiencing inequality lately. I mean, and I'm so immersed in the problems of the world
Yeah,
that everything I'm thinking is something out there.
okay, which is why I was asking us to like bring it home.
Yeah, and I'm just not.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be political inequality. So I could give an example
Yeah.
that was occurring to me just as you started talking. I play basketball on Sunday mornings. I'm 55. And sometimes I end up like covering a 24-year-old. And I feel a strong sense of inequality. I feel like I can think I want to move to my left while he's actually going to his right. So there's a kind of deep and unsolvable inequality in that. Let's get some other examples in mind and maybe they'll inspire others. Janet, you look like you got one.
It's interesting. I've not working. I blew out my knee and I have a bad knee and I was using it a lot. So now it's not my bad knee anymore. It's my better knee. But both of them are crap. So I'm not working or anything like that. And I've been going to doctors and, it's just crazy. Anyway, I went to this doctor, I finally got in to see an orthopedist in Coos Bay. So I go in the office and my appointment was at 11:30 and I'm waiting and waiting, 12:05, kind of like it's lunchtime. Did they forget I was in the room? I went outside, what's going on? Oh, and they're really backed up. We're really busy. We've had all kinds of emergencies. So finally, this doctor comes in. His hair is plastered to his head. You can see his hat. He's got on his Bandon Dunes golf shirt and his khaki pants. And he starts manipulating my knee and he says, you don't, I had an MRI and I saw the MRI and I got this huge hole in my meniscus. And so, you don't have torn meniscus. It's just your patella, you're just old. So, and I said, and he goes, I'm just going to give you a shot. And I'm like,
Wow.
I said, are you sure? And he goes, well, let me check your chart real quick.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
He goes out for like 5 minutes, comes running back. Yeah, I think that's what it is. And I said, well, what exactly are you injecting into me? Oh, it's just a corticosteroid. Well, what's the name of it? Oh, you don't need to know that. Don't-
Oh my God.
I'm I'm sorry, but you have to excuse my language. Arrogant. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm getting patronized because I was thinking if I was in the South, he would have said, don't worry your pretty little head about it. Oh, so, yeah.
Okay, well,
Stop that.
that's a good example.
And then that does bring to mind
All right.
There you go. Doctors.
dentist.
Dentist.
Dentist, and it's been a little while, so it wasn't really felt recent, but yeah, and I'm on Medicare and Medicaid for this year at least. And so Medicaid covers dental. So Advantage Dental is the company here in town. And they got a new dentist again. And the dentist before him had said I should get these two back teeth that are both broken filled. So that's what I'm assuming I'm in there to do, is talk about that. The new guy says, no, he says, first thing we gotta, how do you put this? He made me feel about this big because he basically said something about the elephant in the room is periodontal disease. Like, I don't take very good care of my teeth, but I didn't need somebody, telling me that. He says, and we don't have a hygienist here. So we're not going to worry about your tooth. You're going to have to fix get your teeth cleaned first. And so then turns out that the soonest anybody in Bandon can see me is November, by which time I might not have dental because, and I just, every time I go to that dental office, it pisses me off again because you're poor and they treat you as such,
I'm on Medicare too. That's
Yeah,
it.
you just like and they act like you don't know what you're doing, everything's wrong with you, it's your own fault. It's just, I haven't cared for it.
I mean, that sentence you said early, you said he made me feel about this big. That's like a really resonant sentence, and it's something that just thinking, like, if we're thinking about the sort of climate around equality, that is a really vivid way that probably all of us can recognize that there are times when there's something we run into that makes us feel about that big. So
I must block those things out because
which is good. We'll keep thinking about it. Let's just get a couple more examples and then I'm gonna have us do something strange here, so.
Well, I just wanted to tell her one thing. How I felt when I left was, man, I'm better than that guy.
For you. Yes, definitely.
If you need another doctor referral, I can give you one.
No,
Any occur to you?
I'm reassessing my opinion, my definition of inequality now.
Okay,
So it seems like there's layers or
yeah,
levels. And so I'm not thinking that maybe what I classified as inequality isn't even belong in that category.
you wanna try it? No?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a big subject.
Yes, that's true.
Not get it.
All right. We'll keep taking it in different ways.
Well, I
Okay.
think you kind of opened up my idea of what inequality is using your definition. I
Okay.
wouldn't have considered that dynamic as any inequality, because I guess I go to the political,
Yep.
right? And so I didn't think about it in a purely personal sense.
Yeah, I just wanted to make room for all sorts of inequality, in part because I think like in these medical contexts or at the grocery store or who knows where we're gonna feel like I'm being treated like I'm this big and actually I deserve. I don't know, were you thinking of something?
Oh, well, you two were talking about the dentist and the doctor, but from my perspective, I envy anybody in this area who can see an in-person therapist. It's so hard. Our health infrastructure is minimal here. And it's like our mental health infrastructure is like almost non-existent. But just by virtue of the place where we live, like people assume, oh, telehealth will cover it. And sometimes it's just not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that being a struggle recently of like just finding a human being I can see in the same room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So equality of access.
yeah.
Joni, your previous example moved from equality to inequality. Did you think of one with inequality?
I think I'm like you, Kathleen, in that I haven't had a personal I don't even want to say attack, or I haven't had a personal experience lately of that. And I don't know if that's because I'm blessed to hang around people that treat me so well and respect me, and I hopefully do the same with them.
Yeah.
Blank on a personal one, other than the
Sure.
letter.
It's interesting because I think for some people, it's like much easier to think about instances of inequality. For others, it's much easier to think about equality, and they're both so big that maybe we don't think about them very much. Which is why I'm gonna move us to this next thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna pass this out. There's stuff on both sides of the page. The stuff on the top of the page is just a reminder. And I should say, I just hope we keep, like, I don't have any answer to any of this. The hope is that we walk out of here thinking more about our community, country, equality, how we try to show up in the world. And so just a reminder that, like, some of the core ideas about the United States point towards equality as the thing. So in the Declaration, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. And then Lincoln, in the Gettysburg Address, which is also a kind of refounding doc, he says, 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Let me just stop there and see, like, anything as you see these bolded sentences that stands out to you or that makes you think about, and don't be shy.
Okay.
Great.
I just lied a few minutes ago.
Okay.
I just thought of some inequalities
Great.
from church to apps that I've been listening to and podcasts, that all men are created equal.
So that's
I got
good
that.
strike.
It was like, oh my gosh, Joni, you blew that one, you know? And so even when I say the Our Father,
Yeah.
the prayer, the Our Father, I don't say Our Father. I say our Creator God. And so I did that at St. Tim's on church on Sunday, and the people around me were like, you're offbeat, you know, kind of thing.
Okay, but that's a great
So
example.
and that's what hit me.
Yeah. Okay, it sounds like it hit a number. of
Oh,
people.
gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
But in my church, our pastor's fairly progressive, both the last 3 have been. And so they'll say she a lot of times.
Kind of alternate.
And instead of kingdom, it's kingdom. And I like both those
Okay.
differences.
Great. Jenna, what were you gonna say?
When I see this,
This down.
I'm thinking, what a bunch of liars. They did not hold those truths to be self-evident. They were, taking over land that wasn't theirs and kicking them out, and they were, and especially the Declaration of Independence, they didn't include people who were slaves. And they didn't include a lot of other people too. Many people were marginalized, so that they can say that what they meant is, we hold these truths to be self-evident, all white men are created equal.
Good.
And that didn't include women.
Yeah, all white landowning.
Right.
And then from the Gettysburg, and even that wasn't true. Because there were so many prejudices among the signers and, the writers of the Declaration of Independence against, people from, like Germany. My great grandparents from ways back, they lived in Germantown, and, I remember being Benjamin Franklin wanted to burn them all out because, they're just not learning English, they're still doing German things. There's something wrong with them. And then, of course, the Gettysburg Address. They didn't believe everybody was created equal. They were still, going out and killing the Indians and taking their land and doing all those things. I know I came to this because I really don't believe that the human condition is capable of true equality.
Okay. It's good. It's helpful to keep, so, when Lincoln says dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal, that's pretty far distance from the facts. What were you gonna say?
I was agreeing that, yeah, proposition carries a lot of weight.
Yeah.
One thing I'd like noted in there was the difference in the phrasing there of like, at a point when, that who is treated equally was actively evolving, that he didn't say this is a self-evident truth. It's like, nope, that this is a constantly fluctuating definition, a constant moving target.
You know, that's something that's definitely been achieved yet too,
Yeah,
even as he held his own prejudices, you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
So,
I want to actually ask us to flip the page over. Because it was, well, really well done. That was like really good.
Likes to me.
Thanks. Nice to hear.
Someone's read this one? Okay, let's read it out loud, and actually, let's read it it's very short. But I hope as we look at it, it's gonna help us think about what we started talking about. Maybe we could just go line by line. So we all get, anybody want to start us?
I'll start.
Thanks.
I too sing America.
Can we go this way?
I am the darker brother.
They send me to eat in the kitchen.
When company comes
But I laugh.
and eat well.
And grow strong.
Tomorrow,
I'll be at the table.
When company comes.
Nobody'll dare
Say to me,
eat in the kitchen.
Then
besides,
They'll see how beautiful I am.
And be ashamed.
I too am America.
Thanks for reading that. That was nice,
That's cool.
actually. It was nice to hear all the voices. As we talk about it, I hope it's a way to think about what we've been thinking about more. I guess I'm curious about that first line. And just for starters, what does it mean to sing America?
love your country, to
to treasure it,
treasure it, to cherish it.
yeah,
Well-
cherish, to wanna see it thrive, to wanna be part of it thriving. All of that.
I think singing is to talking as doing is to being. He not only is an American, but what he does in his action exemplifies Americanism more than just simply by right, I am American. But I'm contributing.
Will you say the first thing you said too? Because I want to make sure I'm tracking. You said singing is.
Singing is to talking as doing is to being.
That's nice. Huh.
I feel equal. He's telling us he's feeling equal.
That's what you hear in I Too Sing America.
I have a voice, I have a place, I have a friend.
Huh.
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm similar to that. The voice is exuberance. I sing. I let it out there. I'm letting it all out there.
I think music is a universal love. You're hard pressed to find someone that didn't like music. I think that's something everyone can.
Even if we're not all good at making it.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
That doesn't matter.
That's different. That's a different conversation.
Oh, good.
Piano, Kathleen.
Right,
I-
Where is it?
it's over there.
I zeroed in on the verb sing. When we think about like the shared act of singing, when we sing a familiar song, it's something we're all taught the similar melody. We're all supposed to think of the same things. Like we've been taught to espouse a certain kind of what America is, but we all might be tuning into different genres.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So we may all have different concepts of what America is. And that might show up differently for people. Like espoused by like kind of some negative language in the second paragraph too, to immediately follow up sing America, but they send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes. You know?
So I Too Sing America, but they send me to eat in the kitchen when company. How to make sense of that?
But he laughs. He has hope. He's saying, tomorrow I'll be at the table. He's talking about. It's right now. That's now. The future's still gonna be different.
Mm.
I think maybe Hughes is singing a jazz cover of the national anthem. It's the same song, but it's black.
Can we just stick with the laugh for a minute? You pointed to the laugh. I guess I'm curious what you all make of that laugh, but I laugh.
I'm still caught up on America.
Okay.
When I first read it, I'm thinking of the United States of America. Then I read the second line, the darker brother. I'm thinking of the Americas.
He's asserting his own power though, because he's not allowing whatever the culture is doing to dictate how he's gonna feel about
100%.
himself. Because he's laughing, he's singing, and that's counter to what you would think of somebody being enslaved.
Mm. Well said.
Yeah. it is.
I mean,
What did you think the laugh meant?
Well, I think I hear some of what Robin said, that there's a kind of confidence there, and I hear some of what Janet said about a time horizon. So I hear those two things, but I also wonder what can lead someone while being discriminated against to laugh? That feels like a big achievement. So I'm curious about that.
I feel it's like the same with me and the doctor. You know, he's like, oh, I tell you a joke, my favorite joke.
You mean right now? I mean, who's gonna say no to that?
Right.
Okay, my favorite joke. You know, this guy dies and he goes to heaven. And he's met at the pearly gates, you know, and everybody's happy. And St. Peter takes him and he takes him, he says, you know, you're in heaven. We're all equal here. Nobody's above anybody else. He says, you know, even God is equal with everybody here. So here's this bell, and people are all lining up to eat. And this guy in this lab coat goes running past everybody and gets in front of the line. And he goes, I thought everyone was equal. He says, who's that? Well, that's God. Sometimes he thinks he's a doctor.
Oh my God, that's perfect.
What I was gonna say is, if you read, you know, Angela, Maya Angelou, you know, it's the same thing. Why does the cage bird sing? And sometimes I feel we're all in a little cage. You know, we all have the things that we have to do. We all have a place in hierarchy. There are people who will look down on us, like certain nasty little doctors. And there are people who will look up to us. So, you know, wherever you are, you need to celebrate that. And to me, when there is oppression, you need to look to the future and say, I will not be oppressed, and so I don't deserve this. I'm free inside, and one day I will be free on the outside.
It's a really nice combination of a good joke and a serious point.
It's my favorite joke.
Yeah.
That's a great joke.
Still, like what you said, when you said that feeling of I don't deserve this. That I hear some of that here. Like, I know I don't deserve to be in the kitchen. I deserve to be at the table. Where does that come from? Because there are certainly plenty of cultures that might not drive that into us. Where does that I deserve better, I deserve equality come from? If you think it's part of it.
Well, I mean, I have to come at this from a place of faith.
Yeah.
If there's a core belief in every religion that love triumphs, that love conquers, that it's love that's the power. And if you can accept that as true, I mean, it is true, but if you can accept it as true, then you can laugh at oppression, and you can live through whatever kind of horror you have to live through, because in the core of your being is that faith, not a belief, but a faith that love's gonna win, and you're on the side of, I mean, you're loved regardless, and you're gonna, I'm not explaining, well, Joni could explain it much better than me.
That's right here.
Yeah, love always wins.
Love
Yeah.
always wins.
Yeah, so I think that's where the bit about laughing comes from, is he's I assume he's got this very deep faith that probably comes from whatever kind of religious life he grew up in. I'm assuming that, I don't know if that's true. But even without an organized religion as your base, that still comes through, because every organized religion in the world at their core says that. And you don't have to grow up in a religious household to learn that. Because it's just part of it. I think.
What are other people thinking right now? It's good stuff.
I think the question was along the lines of like, why does he feel equal? Or how do
Yeah,
you rate
like,
that?
what leads to that confident laugh?
I think, I guess my question is, you know, does someone like that read the preamble and see all men are created equal and just interpret it as all people are equal? And then internalize that and go, okay, I am equal. Why am I not being treated equal? But I am equal. I was told that I was. Why am I not being treated that way?
I'm gonna take the things you said you cared about and show you actually what it means to care about them.
Growing up as a lesbian woman, I've known since first grade. I know, it's not like I'm not out there, huh? I think I have learned very early to laugh at this because I have been called so many things and told to go to hell and called a sinner and called a liar and da, 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 da. You know, but my laugh has always been, you just don't get it. And it's like you get to a point where I'm not sensitive about it anymore. For a while, when I'm still trying to figure out who I was real sensitive and it hurt. It hurt. And then after a while, it's like, you just don't get it. You just don't get it. And so I laugh about it and I just let it roll down my back,
Yeah.
you know, but I find that my queer friends that are still very sensitive about that, they're not at that point where they can laugh. The hurt and the pain is so big. They haven't got to a point in their own life or in society or whatever that they can laugh and they can let it go.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean we give up in who we are and being the best people that we can be, which sort of goes back to what you were talking about.
And I want to actually follow up on you. It's like, can people like this laugh because they know they're giving so much less mental effort towards hate and inequality
Oh,
than these people?
oh,
I laugh because I don't hate as much as you do.
exactly.
I mean, we stopped partway through the sentence. It says, but I laugh, eat well, and grow strong. Which is interesting. And even the eating well is like, what's the
You're
nourishment?
still
there?
hating me.
Yeah, like I'm nourished on a commitment to the values that you're not seeing, but I'm seeing something.
Mhm.
Like the depth of that experience or
Yeah.
just like the virtue of like going through that experience can be strengthening in a way once you get through it.
So that's a tough meal.
Tough meal,
That's a tough meal. That's, I mean, it's a, you know,
maybe it's filling.
the tomorrow, I guess, which you mentioned tomorrow. When's tomorrow? When this guy says tomorrow?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Future.
The future. That's enough?
It's when it sits right with you.
Huh.
It's not a date and time. It's not a year. It's not a month. It's not a day. At least that's my.
It's kind of like Martin Luther King. I mean, I get there with you.
Huh.
So he's already saying that it's gonna be a future. But it'll happen.
Okay.
You know, I wanted to kind of interject something about the feeling of joy and oppression. I was in a very bad family, let's face it, and lots of abuse. And what I found was I could go to other families and it was like, these people are so happy. You know, the parents are actually listening to the kids. You know, they're sitting together at dinner and they're laughing together. Nobody's kicking them under the table, you know? And I think what I learned is that the people who feel they have to make other people feel small are the ones who are suffering and are very small themselves. And I think that's how you can laugh and you can say, I am not that small. Absolutely. And I am going to get bigger. I'm going to expand. And they may never be able to do that. And there's a sadness and a compassion. I think,
Makes me want to point to another place in here.
Mhm.
When it says tomorrow I'll be at the table when company comes, nobody will dare say to me, eat in the kitchen then. Besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed. I guess I'm curious about the dare and be ashamed. Like how do those things function in an understanding of or a commitment to equality? Is that a clear question?
I think that's the smallness is the shame. These people are living with shame about themselves and they take it out on other people. They have to have someone that they can shame more. That's how I feel about it.
I think that Hughes is saying tomorrow, whenever that may be, that company will have heard his song and realize his worth and his value. And they will feel ashamed and regret at not seeing it before.
I'm thinking back to Joni's letter.
Yep.
And you're feeling like, this was inauthentic. It says there's a time for equality, but this isn't what it feels like. And now I'm not talking about the specific person you got the letter from, but the idea that like, it didn't sound to me like an authentic commitment to equality is what you felt there. And I think the shame in the presence of inequality or the shame in inscribing inequality, like we got to hope for that. But where does that, because plenty of people don't seem to feel it. How can we ensure that, like, is it a good thing that people feel shame about that? No. I'll put that, sometimes I hear people say it's better to feel less shame. Here the shame seems to be doing good work.
Well, if shame brings you to a place of transformation, then it is good. It doesn't with everybody, I don't think. Plenty of people repress their shame and, turn it into whatever.
Hatred.
Yeah. But it's, so the 12-step program is a really good example of
It's
how to take shame and turn it to good.
great.
Because you don't get turned away. If you fall off the wagon and come back, you're welcome back over and over and over. There's plenty of shame in those rooms, but because everybody in those rooms has experienced something similar, it's like there isn't any shame. Everybody's been there. And when you get that, then you start to transform.
What I love about that though is that these people might feel shame, but they're not being shamed,
Right.
right? It's coming from here, not from outward.
Exactly. That's a big difference.
And you can learn that everyone feels the same way. You're not some horrible person standing on the sidelines. Everyone experiences it just as you do. It's normal. You can be normal.
You're definitely not special in those rooms.
Makes me want to flip back to the other side of the page for a minute. Now that we've been talking about this for a little, and maybe we can come back in a sec to that last line. But for now, like, anybody want to read the sentence from the declaration, the partial sentence from the declaration? Even if you don't want to, you're game to. I heard that. Take a breath.
Yeah. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Thanks. Anybody game to take the Gettysburg Address sentence? Thanks.
77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal.
All right. Well, we've been talking for almost an hour about equality. I guess I wonder what you feel now with these words, the partial sentences back and front, but anything you feel.
I think we have a lot of work to do.
Okay.
We meaning who, Robin?
Me, I mean, me, no, it starts with me, yeah. What am I doing that is contributing to it, or, yeah, I check myself, yeah. You're so right, I hear that, yeah.
But these words came from I feel like these words came from a place of, what's the word I want? They wanted to, not ascribe to it, they wanted to, well, what's the word I'm looking for?
Aspire.
Aspire, thank you. They aspired to this. And I mean, these are not words that just anybody writes down. This isn't something that comes to you and you just, they had to have thought through this, and they had to have, it had to come from a place of real belief that it was possible. And so my favorite part of that top one is that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those are three things that everybody on this planet wants and deserves. And that somebody back in 1776, that those words came to them and that they put it down on paper. Yeah. And even though you're right, we have a lot of work to do. Every time the world turns into chaos like it is right now, there are people out there that are doing everything they can to bring us to a new place, not to take us back where we were, but to take us forward to where we should be. And every time we move forward, it gets a little bit better and a little bit better. And I think that's what these words say. I wish they had been true from the beginning, but that doesn't really want something to be true,
Huh.
in my mind.
That's powerful, Yeah. I mean, if it were true, we might not need the words. That's one of the interesting things about it. That the words express an aspiration that the fact doesn't reveal. So I'm just trying to say back what I think I heard you say.
Yeah.
And I think when I hear that, I think words lead to action.
Yeah.
And they're only words, but the word like pursuit is action. Where do we go from there and what do we do?
I think the funniest thing is that they didn't just say, hey, all men are created equal. They said, this is obvious. This is an obvious statement. This is self-evident. It's irreproachable. It's unquestionable.
Which is
It's
crazy.
ironic.
It's
It's
crazy.
incredibly ironic.
Good point.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that yet, and it's like, if you just take my small basketball example, like I am reminded of all the inequalities that are present from our creation all the time. So to say that it's self-evidently true that we're created equal. What's
But if it's self-evident, do you have to say it's self-evident?
Maybe at that time they did.
I feel like there's a historical context here that we're kind of missing, in the fact that, we were under a king, and, King George was pretty wacky. So, and that was, the monarchs they're above everybody, the peers, they're above everybody, the landowners. So once again, I think that when they did this, they're saying, well, you guys are really not any better than we are over here. Like I say, as long as you're the white guy. So, but that was also their cultural, their cultural upbringing as well. So, I think that was there were kings in France, there were kings in, there were kings all over the place, the whole dang place. There weren't any real democracies or anything. So this was, it was that leap forward, even though it was culturally kind of curtailed. And that's how I feel that it came about.
That's really helpful. Yeah.
In comparison to it, it was needed to say because the cultural norm was not that.
That's why in and of itself, it's called a declaration. I mean, they were stating something that at the time was quite radical.
But it's interesting to think, how is it that in only 250 years, it seems not radical? That in a way, like I've imbibed, and it sounds like maybe all of us have imbibed some idea that we're essentially equal.
At least we have a right to be equal.
We strive to be.
We strive to be for it.
Yeah, I mean, a right feels like another way to say a word that I've heard a couple times, which is deserve.
Maybe it's just a practice at this point. It's a practice. It's just a practice at this point. We're learning as we practice.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes it more of a flexible document, a living document, as opposed to it's already here.
We're on a journey.
That quote be the change you want to see in the world.
Mhm.
Start maybe practicing.
But can I just go back, then can I ask you to flip the page again? Just because we haven't, right? I guess I want to ask you to look at the first sentence and the last sentence. And what you make of that. Which goes back to, actually, it's weirdly tied in with your earlier comment, maybe not weirdly.
Which one?
When you said being is to doing.
Oh, singing is to
is-
talking, is doing is to being.
Yeah,
It's not just I am, it's that I'm contributing. Or actively trying to be.
yeah, I wondered about that. 'cause
It's
here-
it's walking the walk,
Mhm.
right?
So yeah, so what do you, so this ends, it starts I too sing America, it ends I too am America. What do you got?
He starts by trying to convince, right? I am, I promise. He finishes by going, no, like I am. I'm not convincing, I'm telling you. Which is the confidence, I think. Someone brought up.
People thinking about that in any particular way?
It's right, it makes the year.
Oh, I was talking about how in the beginning he says, I too sing America. He's like trying to convince, hey, I am America. He's being argumentative. By the end, he's just flat out stating, no, I am. No question. I am American. And so that goes back to the confidence. He's speaking with confidence. So he goes from trying to convince to just simply saying, no, I am. And you don't get to tell me otherwise.
To me, like, there's like this kind of, I don't know. There's a difference to me in from the sing to the am. Like singing America sounds like you were something like outside of America, but talking about America. Whereas it feels like we've gotten to a point where it's like, no, the am is saying I'm an active participant in America.
Or America is a body of many different parts. And I'm an integral of part of that body. I'm not separate. Right. You know, it's me. I think you see a lot of that with the protests. You know, you're not American. You know, I'm American because I do this. And you're not American. No. Or all the loud, aggressive parts and all the sweet, loving parts. It's the same thing.
And just,
Participants.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of wild that the protests, that the name for the protests nationwide has been No Kings. That's kind of striking. Because it's such old language. Like that's the rallying cry. That struck me as anachronistic in some way but it resonates.
There are people who believe that there are people in the government who believe they are more equal than other people. And better equal. Better. And that's what the protest is about.
Yeah.
And then related to this one, I read I too am America. We're all that one part. We're all the America. There's no distinction. There's no difference. There's no back to equality and inequality. We're all equal. We're all a part of this. And your value and your value and your value, all of our values are important and crucial for us to get along and to continue on with life.
I think what I got from Joni was the fact that the word to in both of those lines is actually doing a lot more than you might
Yeah.
see at first read. He's not saying I sing America, I am America. He's specifically including I too, just like you, just like all of you, I am also. So the two is carrying a lot of weight in that.
Big two.
We're all in this together. Even when we don't agree, we're all in this together. Yeah, yeah.
So I'm thinking about the moment when Robin, you said, well, it starts with not going, what are they doing, but what am I doing?
Exactly.
I guess I wonder if anyone has concrete thoughts about that. Like, what does that look like?
Getting off Facebook.
I'll give you my concrete example.
Sure.
I always, and I believe this to the core, I am a spiritual being, not just a human being. And there's always a bigger picture to something. And when you go deep within, you know that, and it's like the red ribbon on top of the head, the red bow. Each of you are a gift. And I can just see a bow on the top of each of your heads, and you as that gift to the world and a gift in my life. And the more that we see each other as those precious gifts, then we can relate more and love more, be kind more, and listen better, not put people down, have hope.
Don't you just want to bottle you? Your essence.
So,
All of our essence.
I see it kind of like that butterfly effect.
Mm.
You do the best you can with the tools you've got. You've learned, you're learning every day, you're growing every day, you're getting more and more inclusive, more and more accepting. And you never know when that one kind thing you've said or done, or that one way you've gone out of your way, you never know how that's going to affect that person, and in turn, the person next down the road, and on and on and on. And so, what is it? Who was it that said, the only, was it Margaret Mead that said the only, something about small changes, or the only change that can be made is, I can't think of it now, but anyway, it's in my head.
All
You know
the
what I'm,
historic changes have not been made by large groups, but by one individual.
yeah, it's
Something
the
like
only
that.
way it can, or anyway, yeah, if each of us, I mean, people will say, well, for instance, my vote doesn't count, I'm just one person, but if everybody said that, then yeah, your vote wouldn't count. But if everybody voted, regardless of whether they thought their vote was gonna count or not, they would all count. You know, we all have a responsibility, and I don't like that word, we all have a mandate, that's not a good word either.
Obligation.
Opportunity.
Thank you. Obligation. We all have an obligation to be and grow towards the best person that we can. We're given gifts. We should be using those gifts. We should be discerning all of that, you know, because no single person can make that change, but all of us together can. And yeah, I'm starting to talk in circles. One of those. But yeah, so the way I deal with it is I just try and be the best human being that I can be to, you know, and then when I screw up, I acknowledge.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes even more powerful.
And to forgive yourself, or to be forgiven, or if we get to that point,
Yeah.
lots to this.
Maybe I'll move us to like closing the formal part, just by asking us to take 20 seconds to let a question come to your mind. Could be a question about what we were talking about, could be a question about equality, could be a question about what you're gonna have for dinner. Doesn't really matter, but let's just close with a question from everyone, and then maybe we can hang out a little more informally, whoever wants to. But can we go silence for 20 seconds to let a question come to mind? My stomach has. You shouldn't have said that about dinner. It was a real clue.
Some Cheez-Its or something.
Anybody want to start us with a question of words instead of stomach noise? Anybody have one? Great.
How much of the definition of equality is in my own mind?
Thank you.
Even just the thing that instantly came to my mind is just how can I better practice equality in my daily life with people around?
Mine was, how can I, how can I feel so blessed being with these great people tonight?
So I guess my question is, am I fulfilling my purpose?
Yeah.
I'm never sure.
Mine's probably, how can I inspire others to care?
Mine is, when will I ever find the balance between the striving for that beautiful spiritual outlook and the human drive to separate from others?
I think my question's related to what you're talking about, but it was focused on laughter and like, what's the right relation between laughter and urgency or something like that is my question in me. One of the goals with the Conversation Project is to try to create situations where we're all thinking more as we leave the room than maybe we were when we came in. I got a lot going in my head. It looks like you do too. I hope that's how it feels. I hope, and also that like you see each other maybe even more than you saw each other before, even if you saw each other a lot before. Yeah, I love the fact that we're in this like meeting room with a kind of funny but good carpet.
Encapsulates my feelings.
And we can just really go there. Oh, great. And so I just want to say thank you for that. That's really, it is delightful. It is a blessing. Thank you for that. And that you are game to do that with an interloper from Portland that came down to join you. I just really appreciate that. Let me say one word about Oregon Humanities for a minute. We publish a magazine. It's all the writing from Oregonians, and it's free if you want it. I brought a previous issue. It's always on a different theme. The previous issue is on the theme consume. If you want to grab one, they're there on that. There's also little notebooks, little scout books from Beyond 250 like that.
Take one of those.
And they have good little questions in them, good open-ended questions, but please grab that. If you want to have more of these, there's 16 different Beyond 250 topics. Like this sentence is from the beginning of the Declaration, but there's a woman in the who's reading one about a line at the end about what we owe each other, which shows up in there, and she does a beautiful job with that. So I just to say, like, you could put pressure on Kat to or you could,
Somebody else did.
right? Or you could have your church do it. There, any organization can bring these in. So I just want to say,
When you say bring this in, meaning having a person come
Sponsor
to
it,
facilitate.
you just say we want to do this. We want to have our organization be the host.
I'm on your mailing list, have been for years, because I hosted a talk on fishing, I believe. Here in the library, as my company is Otter Beast Market, and so it was a local food thing.
Great.
With
Jennifer Burns.
Jennifer Burns Bright, thank you. It's the first time I met her, so
Yeah.
I've been on your mailing list ever since. So I get the magazine 4 times a year.
Awesome.
I get it too.
Cool.
You're gonna prod me to have 3 pennyos to discuss.
That was on my mind.
Yes.
Well, let me just say thanks again, and thanks, Kat, for getting us here and making this happen.
Thank you for
It's incredible.
doing, this was awesome.
Thank you for.
Yes,
that's right. Yeah,
I appreciate everybody's.
a little scared about
So they're like, oh, we're getting to the deep things, but once we're all talking like this.
The intimate is nice too. It's
Yes.
just a few of us,
I agree.
not fighting for.
I'll never see you guys again.
We want to know about you.
I can say anything.
And great job leading us
Yeah.
through this. It was-
Yes, thank you.
It was fabulous.
I was gonna say half of you have already signed up too, but we're also doing our own Beyond 250 theme events too. And we've got our oral history project going on right now. We're looking for folks to sign up to interview and talk about their experiences in the Brookings Harbor area and kind of reflect on their experiences here and the kind of the community they want to build going forward. So if you're interested in interviewing for that, if you haven't
I've
already.
already done.
I know, you're done, you're
Good,
done.
yeah.
Yeah. Talk to me, well, we can get you signed up for an interview. It's a really cool program. A lot of folks have already signed up. So.
And it went really, really well.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I did it as well. And I highly recommend that the more people that can participate, I think
We have some lovely volunteer interviewers who are just so enthusiastic about the project. And then there's you.
and a little sound booth, that was pretty incredible.
Yeah, that was, I didn't realize that's the name of that little sound booth where, yeah, no clue where I was supposed to go.
Whole room, yeah, I know. Yes.
I felt like I was Get Smart inside of the telephone booth.
It's a fun little fishbowl experience too. Yeah.
But I want to thank you, Adam, for leading us through this. This was really, really.
Thank you both.
awesome.
Thank you for coming down and making us important.
Oh, that's
Yes.
That's a good way to put it, Rob.
We get visitors.
great.
Yeah.
And what do you do with these discussions? Do you take them back and do you work on them as part of maybe future magazines? Do you pull something together? Is it something that you're, I guess, blending and you know, kind of seeing something that you could share with everyone later? And we shared in this little group, but I'm sure you're gonna get something different in Bend and Salem and other things.
Yeah, I mean, I will tell you that some years there are 350, 375 of these happening in the state, just with Oregon Humanities and partner organizations. And our hope is actually that the impact